try it here. He's back to throw. And he's got it. It's caught for a touchdown. And they have taken the lead here in the final seconds.
Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you view. We're back here on Game of Thrones show, Game of Inches show. And today we got special guest here, GM of the Coby. It's not the Saints. What team is it?
Seahawks. How you guys?
Seattle. So we got the GM of the Seahawks with us today, Coby, as a special guest here today. And then always the man in command, the know-it-all, the Godfather, John of the Dolphins is back with us, and we're going to play a little game, Make It or Break It, where we look at some teams that maybe aren't off to such a hot start, and then next week we might have a little game as well, similar, but we'll look at the opposite end of the spectrum, maybe teams that have gotten off to a hot start that, will they last or not last, and I know a couple of folks have DM'd me and they want to hear their name mentioned on the show, but it might be one more week for that to happen for some folks. So how's everybody doing? John, how are you doing today?
Man, I'm doing good. And we got the resident Playboy banker with us today. So it'll be a fun show.
Coby, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Mad that I missed a game today. Had to give out a forced win. That's all on me now. Doing great.
Well, you probably would have lost anyway. You got a lot going on. You're driving, obviously, so be safe. I won't show this to the insurance company if you get wrecked. So, all right. So first up, we have the Kansas City Chiefs, Jay. He was off to a great start before the reboot last season. I think he only had 2 or 3 losses. And then in season 19, as the Chiefs as well, he was 11-6, made the playoffs as well. He's off to a 2-2 start here in season 21. John, what do you think?
Well, out of all the teams we're looking at right now, he's one of the teams that, he's kind of a heartbreak, man. I mean, he's losing by less than a field goal on average per game, and it's probably even tighter than that. If you take up, I'm not sure if he was drunk or fighting with his woman or whatever, but he got blown out by the Chargers 41-6. Other than that, he's got a real strong defense. He's got 14th ranked defense. It's just you got to get the offense going a little bit to get back to that winning ways, which is kind of weird when you're the Chiefs and you got Mahomes at quarterback. Offense shouldn't be the problem, but he'll figure it out.
Coby, thoughts on the Chiefs? John, so make it or break it. Is he going to stay in the funk and miss the playoffs, or you think he'll get back to form?
No, I think he's going to get back to form. I would be really surprised if he didn't. I think he'll get it figured
out. Coby, make it or break it. Jay and the Chiefs, you've played them a few times. What are your thoughts on them?
I'm going to have to unfortunately go with break it. And I hate to say it because Jay's my guy, but it's the addition of Denzel now to his division. And we all know what Denzel did with the Bears, a terrible roster. Somehow took them to the Super Bowl. Kudos to them. And actually, Denzel is my one real loss this season. I played him week 1. And I just couldn't keep up with his scoring. His defense was stingy. Surtain was flying around. And then we have Matt as well, who hasn't lost. And I don't think I've beat him since last Matt. I know that defense, I just can't get around it. Just giving me new looks, sitting in the house. And but I can't really just completely count Jay out of things. He still has Patrick Mahomes. Someone's gonna be open. He just has to just figure it out, slow it down, I guess. But I'm gonna go break it just due to his division. Broncos are 4-1 and the Chargers are 5-0.
All right. Well, it looks like it comes down to me to break the tie. I play Jay coming up in the next week or 2, so I'm not going to give him any bulletin board material. I think Jay's going to turn it back on. He'll make it possibly a division like the NFC North that gets 3 teams into the playoffs as well. But you're right. He does have Denzel sitting at 4-1 with the Broncos. Matt is playing out of his mind right now. He's 5-0. I think the last Carolina and Ray are also 5-0. as well. But everybody else and even myself is off to kind of a weird start here. So I think there's still plenty of time, and I think Jay is good enough. He always plays me tough when we play to make it back to the playoffs. So I'm going to go with make it with Jay, and he's gracious in all he does when he wins and loses. So I love his attitude always, and that's, we all know we're going to get mad and cursed at some point during our games, and he does a great job of staying consistent and mentally balanced in those, which goes a long way. So I'm going to go with make it for Jay. Next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons, who is Tremaine, who was with the Browns last before the reboot. The Browns made the playoffs. Oh no, he missed the playoffs when he went 10-7 in season 19. Season 20, he got off to kind of a weird start because he was, I think, in a moving, so he had to take some forced losses and was, I don't know, 0-4, 0-5 to start the season, but he battled back to 500 before the reboot. John, thoughts on Tremaine, who's now in Atlanta, sitting at 1-4? Make it or break it.
Well, with Tremaine, great player, over 60% winning record with us, in the league. But man, he's got a bend but don't break defense, but he's got a broken offense. So right now he's having a tough time getting that offense going, and it's understandable. It's a young crew, but he's losing a little bit over a touchdown per game. So I hate to say it, but he's got to run the gamut. He's got Carolina coming up twice. Looks like, I believe, on his schedule. And then he's got the Chargers. So he's facing some 5-0 teams. So I'm afraid that for this season, he's not gonna make it. He's gonna be broken. He's gonna break it.
Coby, over to you. Make it, break it. Tremaine, Falcons 1-4.
I'm actually gonna go with make it. He's in a division. What he has: the Saints, Mo, Ray, and then the Bucks, Emmanuel. And Emmanuel's kind of also on a slow start. And I know Mo is, of course, he just got that free win against me. But I just remember playing Tremaine last year when he had his Browns, and he just completely murdered me with that team. But I think what's holding him back is definitely just the Falcons' offense. That O-line is giving him no love. He's trying as hard as he can, but like I said with Marty, Falcons just aren't really helping anyone. He is trying to throw a lot of high balls to Kyle Pitts, which has been working, but also on the reverse side of that is it's either a catch or it's an interception. So I think he's going to figure it out. I've always respected his game because he doesn't really talk much in the lobby or aim to get any GOI currency. And he's not one of those people that actually upgrades his players and everything. He's just out there playing week to week. I think he's going to make it, though. He's a good player. Once he figures out the growing pains with his Falcons, he's going to be a playoff team.
Yeah, again, come to me for the deciding factor. I'm going to go with break it as well. The Atlanta roster is far different from his Browns roster. Obviously, with Cleveland, I was in his division. I played him twice a year. He always gave me fits. He's great on defense. He's great on offense. You're right. He doesn't talk much, but he darn sure knows Madden and knows how to play. Now, however, he plays Carolina, who's 5-0 twice a year. You got E-Man, who was also doing fantastic as the Raiders last division as the Bucks. So that's in his division as well. And he's got to deal with the Falcons roster issues. So that's a lot to overcome in one season. I think my view on Tremaine and the Falcons will be different next season. And if he gets a decent draft pick, he'll be able to fix a lot of his roster. But the Falcons roster, I looked it over because I am a Kyle Pitts man, Florida Gator. Let's go. And so it's just not there. It's not in the card. So nothing against Tremaine, but the Falcons roster is a lot to overcome. So I'm going to stick with break it. Okay, next up is a familiar name to everybody, Mr. 2 Super Bowl time champ, Peter with the Jets, has a game coming up today against the tough Miami Dolphins squad. He's sitting at 2-2. Obviously, Peter's winning record here. Let's look at last season when he was with the Texans, who he made the playoffs with. Was going to make it in. He won 77% of his games as the Texans. He's had a 2-2 start, so he's sitting at 500 right now. Obviously, we'll get into a little bit of the AFC East here in a second, but tough division there as well, with the Patriots and whoever's leading the division right now, which is the Buffalo Bills. John, you know this division better than anybody. You're the Dolphins again. What do you think Peter's chances are?
Before I jump into that, man, Coby's got to stop putting the phone on his lap when he takes a drink, because I feel like I'm looking at it from ISIS's perspective, and it's creeping me out, man. It's creeping me out. So, all right. Peter, as everybody remembers, we did the team selection. He dropped into the division. I was pretty less than thrilled. So it's nice to see that he is human. Here we go, because I'm about to probably wreck my own world here, because the last time we talked about Peter on the show, I made fun of his offense, and then he made it his personal mission, like you're his ex-girlfriend and he's trying to give you speeding tickets down the freeway. He was all over me to prove me wrong that he could play offense, but I'm trying to figure out how he does this. His defense is what puts his offense into position, because he's got one of the best defenses in the league. But his offense, sorry, Peter, but it doesn't do anything except for score points, which is weird. But that's because I think he gets the ball in the 15-yard line in the red zone every time from his defense, because he's got, he's 31st in yards on offense. He's 28th in passing. He's 25th in running. Yet he's one of the top teams. He's 9th in points scored. So it's just the math there. So good for him. He went through a tough stretch. He went 500 against the AFC North, but he's got the Dolphins twice. God help us. So, he's going to have those two games. So you got to go off of history. I think he's going to make it. I think he's going to figure it out. I think he's probably going to figure out what he still has both his games against Buffalo. So those are going to be big games. And he's got one more game or two more games against New England. So the division can really be flipped upside down, and Peter's got a long history of winning games. So I think he's going to figure it out, and I think he'll make it. How about you, Coby?
I'm 100% going with make it. I've been playing Peter since Madden 20 days, before when I was in my other league, Red Madden League, where I found him at. And one thing's for certain is he always takes an underdeveloped team, and by the end of season one, turns them into a godly unit. I've never not seen it. I don't think I've ever seen him not make the playoffs in my life. So that's why I brought him over, to bring more great competition. But Peter's definitely going to make it. He's just dealing with, of course, the growing pains with the Jets. Like I said to you, John, earlier, I was going to take that team. I'm very upset that he took him one pick before me. But it's just Zach Wilson for him. I've been watching some of his games, and Zach Wilson will just throw in terror. Those passes where you're sitting in the pocket, someone's wide open. You click the button, they just throw it to the safety on the whole other side of the field. So it's just like a lot of things that he can't control. And like I said, his first 4 games was against the AFC North. And that O-line for the Jets isn't very given. They don't really like Zach Wilson. We saw what happened during the season. So Peter's defense is amazing. He's going to add some pieces. He's got those 2 first-round picks, I'm pretty sure. If not, he's going to get 2 first-round picks. And he's definitely, eventually, he's going to get it together. He's going to make playoffs. He just, sometimes the Madden guys just aren't on your side, and that's all that is. But I see Peter, he's going to recover from this. I bet he'll only lose, 3 more games on the season at most. But he's definitely going to be a playoff team.
Yeah, I agree, Coby. I just played the Texans. I'm the Jags, so I play the Texans twice a year. He took David Mills as somebody, and I think got him a superstar rating by the end of the year. David Mills against me threw 7 interceptions. So it's unfair what Peter can do. I'll probably never beat him again in the playoffs again, but hey, I got him that one time. It'll never happen in my lifetime again, but We're thankful for that. And I went on to finish the deal for the AFC and take the Super Bowl in season 19. So absolutely make it. There's just no doubt in my mind. It's a good division that he's in, but as John pointed out, much like an ex-girlfriend, he holds a grudge, and beat him, he remembers it, and he wants that rematch as soon as possible to happen, and he won't let you forget it either. So I should know. I just played him before the reboot, and he whooped me up and down the field for 60 minutes. So yep, easy make. And then we got a newcomer to the league. Lathan, who is Marty's son, which I was doing the math the other day. Marty is 48, 49, something like that. I don't know how old Lathan is. We've heard in the 20s, so that could be Marty having a kid when he was under 20 years old, to pull off the math right. But he's got his son in the league now. Came in the league, won 3 straight. And then has lost back-to-back games as well. John, do you know much about the Lathan out of the Patriots?
A little bit. I was thinking you were doing the math there. I'd say Coby probably has 3 kids. He's just outrun them since, in his teenage years. So, but yeah, I mean, Lathan is definitely came into the league. I had the pleasure of playing him the first time, which is kind of weird because he came in pretty dominant, and that was my best offensive game of the year. But Lathan definitely came in. I mean, he's averaging 50 points per game. That's his average. He's got the #1 offense, but it is the greatest show on turf because it's all through the air. He doesn't run very much, and in fact, I'm going to count next time he plays because I'm pretty sure he plays without a defensive backfield too, because you can score all over the place on him. Rumor has it that he used to play for money. Not entirely sure, but that was the rumor that was around, and they must just be an offensive thing there because he started off 3-0. He lost that squeaker where he let Green Bay back in. And then the Lions pretty much kept them in check all through the game. So it's going to be interesting. And now we're going to have the best offense going up against the best defense inside our division. Well, one of the best defenses in Peter. So I think that's kind of where we're going to figure it out, where we're going to figure it out. But right now, it's hard, man. He started off so strong, and then he's had 2 back-to-back losses. So I'm going to say break it right now. I think he's going to have to show me a little bit more. What do you think, Coby?
I'm also gonna go with break it. I don't think he's has he played anyone in the division besides you, John?
In the division, I don't think so. I'll tell you in a second.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with break it just due to the Patriots roster is pretty young. I had to deal with a lot here. Bailey telling me how terrible Mac Jones is the whole year. I mean, he's got to figure it out offensively though. It's the defensive side of the ball. Can he last throughout the season? Playing in these close shootout games. And it's another thing is that he's new to the league. Like I say a lot that I know how a lot of people play because we've all been playing each other for the last 2-3 years. So it's like there's no film on him. There's no tape. Nobody really expects much, and then he just comes out and he's been killing people through the air. But once everyone gets a feel for how he plays, what he likes to do, towards the end of the season, especially having to go through the gauntlet of your division, John, I think he'll put a couple more losses under his belt and barely miss playoffs.
Oh boy, this is a tough one. I don't know yet. Can I wait till after he plays Peter the first time in 2 weeks?
Right.
If I had to answer, I'm with Coby. I think GOI is the best league going. I think we got several players that could also be Madden championship players in the league if time permitted. Being new here is not easy. We play without abilities for a reason. We think that levels the playing field a little bit more. Obviously, in watching him play a little bit, I see some of the tendencies or what he's trying to do. And sometimes it just doesn't work out the correct way for him. I definitely think next season, once he gets a couple more pieces on the Patriots roster, decides if Mac Jones is the answer or not for him, with some of the errant throws, he will be a much better player. But if I had to decide today, I'm going to go with break it. GOI is a hard league to come in. He'll probably, beat me out of the last playoff spot or something to show me wrong. But yeah, it's a tough place, and he's got a long way to go. And I'll stick with break it as well there. All right, next up, while we have the opportunity with Coby, let's do some rapid fire questions. I started off with Peter. So John, what questions do we got for Coby today?
Let's see. So Coby, what is the earliest time you think you could actually make an appointment?
Make an appointment?
Yeah.
Like a game, like schedule a game?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm normally, unlike the last couple of years, I actually have a job and everything now. So I usually get up at like 7 a.m. every day.
I don't believe
Of course, I do. I get up at 7. I haven't been able to sleep past like 9:30 since I actually started my job in the summer. So, but of course, I do prefer mostly to play afternoons after 6 because I throw a lot of interceptions before noon. My hand's not there. I'm still tired, and so I'd say the earliest is 6. For me to actually have a good game and be locked in.
All right, now I'll put you on the spot. Hopefully he doesn't see this so you can answer it truthfully. But before we started, you mentioned that one of our former GMs, Anthony, is having his first MMA fight today. So is he going to win?
Yes, sir. I sure hope so. I spent $100 on the table. So all of my friends are going. If he gets knocked out, it's not going to be a good look. But he's been practicing forever. So, he's been training forever. So hopefully he wins. If not, hopefully he goes back to college,
Gotcha. Nice. Well, good luck to him tonight. Last question I got for you is, what's it going to take for a woman to make an honest man out of you?
Oh. Most likely a kid.
There you go.
Most likely a kid.
So ladies, if you're out there, poke a hole in it, you can catch Coby.
Is that before or after marriage, Coby?
If she's pregnant, it's marriage immediately. I can't tell my mom that I got so pregnant and not marry her. It's against the rules.
All right, Coby. Well, let's start out with some Super Bowl questions here. You've been in the league a long time now. You don't have any rings. You seem to have my number for whatever reason whenever we play. So you always pounded in my face that you got some game. What season? We're in season 21 now. Do you think you'll actually get a ring here on your finger?
As soon as Ray has another kid and leaves the league, that is probably when I'll win my first ring. It's just, I don't know. It's something about he has my number. And like the last couple of games we've played, I've actually kept it close, been scoring pretty easily. It's just I throw some inerrant picks. But it's just his play calling and game management towards the end of the game always gets me. He's been scoring like the last 2 games we played before we rebooted. He scored on me twice under like the last 20 seconds. So it's just beating Ray. I think I can do pretty well against anyone else. I know I beat Peter. I beat Peter like say half the time. I might be lying. He's gonna fact check me later. But I feel like I'm 500 against Peter, and I just need to figure out how to beat him, how to manage my time better, and hopefully I'll be effective. But him with Sam Ellinger this year it's gonna piss me off. So I know we play week 16 or something like that, and I plan to murder him. I cannot lose to Sam Ellinger.
Yeah, I was the one that had to break Ray's 5, 6 Super Bowls in a row. So I definitely know his game management, what he likes to do down the stretch, how he controls the game. So definitely, I think it's just a mental edge, whatever it is that he has on you, he has on you. And I think you're getting close. The last 2 times I've seen you play, it's been a super close game, even though you don't like people to watch and you started at like 2 a.m. or something like that. But
Yeah.
I can catch the replay, thankfully, and see what's going on. So you're right there with them. I think you're off to a great start. You're a former football player. Lord knows I like to post all your recruiting videos and stuff like that in the chat. It's always fun. Do you feel being a former player helps you in your Madden play calling or thoughts, from experience of playing?
I would say, honestly, no, because I played running back when I was playing, and I've been more known to be a passer, a pocket passer, and everything. And I just figured out actually like a couple games ago, I actually had to properly run the ball, not sprinting when you get it and everything, and IDing, double teaming the defensive tackle. There's so much to a run game. I've just historically been pretty bad at passing. I've put all my chips in, running, and put all my chips in passing. But I guess it does help with play calling in a way, because my big thing, my game plan is always to use the run to set up the pass. Because everybody knows I'm gonna throw 4 verticals. It's gonna be a time where it's short yardage. You guys think I'm gonna run? I'm gonna switch to 4 verticals pre-snap. So yeah, definitely having a good run game is what excels me, helps me win games, because I'm a passer through and through. So
Okay. I've always been curious of that because I don't come from a football background other than playing some backyard football with the boys or that kind of stuff growing up. But I played one season of competitive football and I got whacked pretty hard, and I said, these guys are a little crazy out here, hang up these cleats here before I get hurt. So that was my extent. So I didn't get a chance to almost make it to the college ranks or anything like that. And obviously I know you were, right there before the injury happened. If you had to pick somebody in the league, who would you most likely like to have a beer with or smoke with?
If I with anyone, I mean, definitely Phil, Commander's Phil. That's my guy. He is hilarious. He's always dropping funny things in there, and him and Bailey for sure. Me and Bailey have already talked about it a couple times for meeting up and everything, but definitely Phil or Bailey. Those guys are hilarious, and Connor, of course. I talked to all 3 of them a good amount of times throughout the week, just exchanging information and Madden tips and tricks and stuff. So definitely those 3.
Okay. We talked a little bit about, I guess, your commitment with girls. I guess I want to figure out what's going on with Riley. What's it going to take for him to get committed here?
Who?
Riley, right? He came back in, was all excited, lasted 3 games and blasted out on us.
Oh man, he upset me greatly. It's just he wasn't it's been a different game, especially switching over to the new console. I guess he hasn't really played since Madden 21, so he's just not used to like everything that's changed on the game, especially us going to sim. Because like I like to say a lot, I didn't know we were playing sim until I played John, and Jetta caught like 4 touchdowns in triple coverage. And I'm over here yelling at Marshawn, what's going on? I look at the top right corner, it says simulation. I'm like, oh, okay, makes sense. There's a lot more to it. It's a lot more time consuming, a lot more adjustments I have to make. I've never made so many pre-snap adjustments until this Madden. You got to take care of the line. You have to make sure they're doing what you want them to do to get the yardage and everything. I don't think he was ready for that time commitment. I even told him a couple of times, I was like, hey, like, call me or send me a party invite. I can walk you through things, tell you how, like, the person you're playing. I know he played Ryan, who was, of course, hot with the Rams. I know he played me. I'm going to whoop him regardless. He knows how to play, but I'm going to whoop him. And, he just had 3 hard games. He didn't game plan much before it, or he just hopped straight into it and got smacked and wondered why. So, you just got to it's more of a commitment, especially playing simulation.
Yeah, I agree. I haven't noticed too much of a change. In fact, the changes I've seen have made it a little bit more realistic to me in game than competitive mode. but I haven't noticed anything crazy, which I think that's probably why we've decided to kind of keep running with it, as it seems a little bit more natural and real lifelike, and in that regard. And Riley's always been one of my favorites. He's always been a fan of the league and supportive of the league most of the time. And so, you know, it just was unusual to see that, and I hated to see it. Him only last in the 3 games before he said, let's hang it back up for a little bit. So last question. You're one of the original OGs of GOI when we first started back in midway through Madden 20. What, in your opinion, makes GOI special?
Definitely, it's a mixture of things. It's the people, for sure. We've been playing all you guys forever. I started off I was in like 10 separate leagues and everything, and it's that mixed with the gameplay, and it's all the extra things you guys do, like this. It's having a talk show. It keeps everyone involved, and this is something I'll never like actually leave. It's gonna take both of you saying, "Oh, we're completely done," for me to ever stop playing this. So it's just that. It's a mixture of things. I love it here. It's really no other league like it. You guys are constantly changing, adding new things, making the league just better every year, every day. I love it.
Awesome, brother. Well, we're glad you're here, obviously, and I think it was your suggestion to pull this economy thing where we do the coins and pay people out and that kind of stuff. So that has added a lot to the league as well. And I know you've been in a lot of leagues, probably more than anybody I know in the league.
Shout out to Peter and Red Matter League for the coin system. I stole it straight from them.
Yeah, thanks for the extra work.
We were just borrowing it. We didn't steal anything.
Yeah.
But anyhow, that's all that I have for today. John, anything else that you can think of?
No, man, it was a fun show. I appreciate it, and be safe driving, Coby.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for being here, Coby. Thank you guys for obviously making GOI everything that it is. Again, send me your highlights. If you want to be on the show, we shoot on Saturdays, and we'll catch you guys down the road.
All right. Oop, wrong button.